Hello, hello. Welcome back to day 2 of the closing code, where I am teaching you how you can triple your income in the next 90 days through conscious conversation and a heart-centered approach to sales. I highly recommend you catch day 1, which is in the feed, which is on my page. But if you are here for the first time today, welcome, welcome. I'm Megan Camille, your intuitive business consultant, and we're talking about how, again, you can triple that income in 90 days. Over the last 10 years, I've built 4 businesses, and what has allowed all of those businesses to be successful is sales. Like I mentioned yesterday, if you aren't in the flow of consistent selling, or you're not in the flow of having consistent sales, then your desire for your business is probably not going to come to fruition. Instead of a business, you're going to have a hobby. So we're going to jump into today's topic, which is conscious communication. And this is really what sets the closing code apart from all other sales out there, all other sales training, all other, especially mainstream or corporate sales, is that we come to these conversations, we as at Megan Camille Enterprises and my clients that I support in learning how to have conscious communication and heart-centered sales, we come to these conversations as our highest self in a space of generosity and give, and stepped out of any attachment or desire for a yes or getting someone to acquiesce to what we want them to do. And we're moving into a space of being in your true self so that you can see them, right? Your heart center is open. You are connecting with their heart center. And the conversations from that space are much different. They're much different than the conversations from the space of entitled to that person buying from me, sure that I know better than they know, really needing for them to say yes, right? That coming from that particular space is where we get the old generalizations that sales is sleazy or manipulative, or it requires lying or aggressiveness or must get the close on that call, right? And we aren't going for that. And so when we come from that space of open-heartedness, you in the sales conversation with a prospective client, you are seeing them as who they are, right there in front of you. And when you do this, a couple of things happen. One, you are going to be able to decipher whether this person is a quality fit for the service that you provide. Are they a quality fit for the service that you provide? And are you a quality fit to provide that service? Right? A really powerful place to be in the sales conversation is knowing what you are capable of, what you are good at, what your service can accomplish and provide for someone, and what it can't. Because if we don't want to be in the space of like, oh, I just need to sell this, and then we sell to someone that it really isn't appropriate for, or someone you're not a hell yes and excited about serving. Right? So we come with that open-hearted, conscious communication ready to go. Now, maybe you're wondering, what is conscious communication? What is conscious communication? What does that really mean in a sales conversation? Well, what we're going over here is you can use in all areas of your life, but I find it absolutely profound in business and the sales conversation, because when we're in conscious communication, we're out of so much of the ego of wanting to get things right or to think that we have it right. And instead, once again, we're connecting heart to heart. And so some attributes of conscious communication is, one, you're an active listener and you are listening more than you are talking. In sales, I always recommend that you are doing more listening than talking. Otherwise, we get into this accidental trap of trying to prove ourselves or defend why what we are offering is the best thing for this person. And so when we're talking too much and we begin talking at someone and we move into the space of convincing, we've now released that positive tension that was built early on, right? So as your job in the sales conversation is to lead the conversation and do it from the space of listening more than you speak. Do about 70% of your time listening and getting to know what their desire is, what their obstacles are, so that you can really give them an offer that truly aligns with what they need. Or you can go, this is not my area of expertise. Let's move on. The other part of conscious communication is validation. It is validation. I hear what you are saying. I see what you are sharing. I am open to understanding your perspective and what it is that you believe you want and need. Okay, so I see this skipped over often because when people are in the sales conversation, they're so concerned about what the other person is thinking about them, right? What do they think about me? Did I say that okay? Am I coming off as legitimate? Am I coming off as kind and heart-centered and not salesy and sleazy, right? So coming back into being an active listener and validating what it is that they are feeling, what it is that they're sharing. What I hear you saying is, and is there more? Is there anything I missed? Is there more about the transformation that you're looking for that you could tell me? Is there anything else that you left out about the obstacles that you're facing? I want to hear more if there is. Right? And so we're validating, and then we're also asking what else is there. We're validating by saying, here's what I heard, right? And that makes sense given these certain things. And as someone who knows what you're selling, you can, in those moments where you hear something familiar in their vision or in their obstacle, you can say, this really reminds me of the time that I or a client, and this creates connection, right? They're going, okay, she heard me or he heard me. She's able to repeat to me what I shared. So now I feel heard and seen. And she has experience of supporting someone through this type of experience. So those are the top 3 things. Is we want to be listening more than we speak. We want to validate and let them know that we've heard them, we see them. And then finally, we want to give connecting examples of shared experience where you in your expertise in your zone have supported yourself or your clients in moving through that particular obstacle. Again, this is really for those of you who are selling a service and you are confident that your service is of high value, right? That you can show up and provide. So when we are in alignment with the clarity that, what I have to offer here is of high value, and we bring in these certain things like new conditioning that we talked about yesterday, conscious communication that we talked about today, and then tomorrow the exact framework, well then sales just becomes a beautiful relating experience. And it is not an arm wrestle, it is not a manipulation, it is not a drain on your energy or time or brain power. Instead, it's a beautiful connecting relational experience. So I have all of this written out for you in my PDF, and it will be below in the comments, and that is where you can feel free to download that, totally complimentary. It's called The Closing Code. Increase your income in the next 90 days, or triple your income in the next 90 days by creating connection and ease during the sales conversation. This is not too good to be true. In my realm, we are often tripling my clients' incomes in as little as 3 months. I have done it myself time and time again. So my invitation is to open up and expand into possibility and get this closing code. Also, pair it with a prosperity planning session where I can support you in where is your gaps in your sales? Is there a gap even in your sales, or could it be in something different? Perhaps it is your messaging, or perhaps it's your marketing. Either way, pair this closing code with a conversation. Aha! Pair this with a prosperity planning conversation so that you are clear on where the gaps are, clear on what your next steps are to be tripling your income in the next 90 days. Okay, the closing code is below. Bye for now.